Oh, welcome to the Talk the Book series, which is being organized by AP State Council of Higher Education for the last 2 years, continuously on every Friday between 3 to 4 p.m., introducing the best of the best books, both in Telugu as well as English, by eminent reviewers, both the scholars as well as the students who are interested in reviewing the book for the benefit of the students, those who are not in a position to go through with this reading of books. Today we have with us, this is the 106th episode, and we have with us the reviewer, Miss M. Dhatri, student of Gitam University, who is going to review the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It is a well-known book, authored by Robin Sharma. So, regarding the introduction of the review of today's program, Dhatri is a brilliant student pursuing her BTech in the Gitam University. She is a student of Kendriya Vidyalaya of Visakhapatnam, and she has participated in several debates, elocutions, and essay writing competitions, and also won a quiz competition conducted by Jawaharlal Nehru Science Meet at Hyderabad in the first place. Reading books is an integral part of her life, and she loved to read and promote articles related to space, history, and political science. Today, she is going to review the book, The Monk Who Sold a Ferrari, which is one of her favorite books. So now I leave it to Dhatri to review the book.
Yes. So enable presenting the screens.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I should have done it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes. Winston Churchill once said, "We are masters of our own fate. As long as we have faith in our own cause and an unconquerable will to win, victory will not be denied to us." A very good afternoon to one and all present here. This is Dhatri, pursuing BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering in Gitam University, Visakhapatnam. So today I'm here to present the book and give book review on my favorite book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, a fable about fulfilling your dreams and reaching your destiny. And this book is written by a great renowned author, Robin Sharma. Moving on, this is the cover page of the book. It is a simple and yet an elegant one. Talking about the author, Robin Sharma is a Canadian writer best known for this book. He got famous after publishing this very own book about which I am discussing today. Sharma worked as a litigation lawyer under age 25 when he published Mega Living, a special book on stress management. And he is well known for his self-help books and spiritual books. Sharma is a globally respected humanitarian, widely considered one of the world's top leadership and personal optimization advisors. His clients include famous billionaires and Fortune 100 companies. He gives advices and keeps motivated the employees of many good companies like Nike, Microsoft, IBM, and FedEx. He has published 12 books and founded the training company Sharma Leadership International. Here's a famous quote given by Mr. Robin Sharma. What you are becoming is more important than what you are accumulating. Moving on, this is a small gist about the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is an inspirational tale that provides step-by-step approach to expressing your inner genius while you live with greater courage and abundance and joy. This is a self-help book that provides the reader all the guidelines to attain peace and eternal joy. The book is a business fable derived from author's personal experiences after leaving the career as a litigation lawyer at the age of 25. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a very good, inspiring book that every youngster of this country has to read, so to get most of the knowledge regarding how to lead a peaceful life and how to attain joy in life. Moving on to the analysis of the book consists of 13 chapters with 197 pages. Over 15 million copies have been sold worldwide as of now. The book was originally published in 1996. Publishers are the Jacob Books Foundation. At first, it was self-published by the author, and later on, for wider distribution, Jacob Book Foundation took it. So, talking about the introduction, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a captivating book that has become classic in the self-help genre. The book tells the story of Julian Mantle, a high-powered lawyer who decided to leave his successful career and embark on a journey to find inner peace and happiness. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a beautifully crafted fable. This has so many mantras, so many fables, and etc. Throughout the book, Mantle shares the wisdom and life lessons with his prodigy, John. John is an intern at his law firm. Who is struggling with similar situations of stress and burnout. The book is not only a story of personal transformation, but also a guide to living a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Characters in the book include Julian Mantle. First one is Julian Mantle. He is the main character in this book. He travels throughout the East and finds the peace. He finds Sages of Sivana and finds out how to live peacefully. The second character is John. John is a prodigy of Julian. He worked as an intern under Julian Mantle in his law firm. Later on, he himself took care of the law firm later in the book. Yogi Raman plays a very crucial role in the book. He was one of the sages of the Sivana whom Julian Mantle meets in Himalayas, and Yogi Raman shares all his knowledge that was given by their ancestors. So basically, this book consists all the knowledge provided by Yogi Raman to Julian Mantle. And Yogi Krishnan also plays a crucial role. He was the one who said Julian about the sages of Sivana. That is the reason why Julian went and met Yogi Raman. And Jenny is John's wife. These are the few characters that are introduced in the book. There are many characters, that is the other sages, but their names and introduction are unknown. There are many other characters that are unknown. Moving on, plot of the story. So basically, the pattern of the book is like Julian Mantle goes to East in search of peace, and finds peace. He finds Sages of Sivana there. He learns all the eternal knowledge that was acquired by their ancestors since 5,000 years. And Julian Mantle comes back home, comes back to Italy, and he explains that to his student, that is John. This is the basic pattern of what the book is. Now, I would like to get deeper into it. The story is situated in Italy about one of the country's most distinguished trade lawyers, Julian Mantle. He is a well-known, wealthy, and workaholic advocate. He was overstressed and overdriven by by all the material things. He at first was a very disciplined and passionate lawyer who wanted to work for the truth. But later on, he succumbed and became a greedy person, and he started working for money. John, a graduate from Harvard Law School, was working as an intern under Julian. He learned most of the law tactics from Julian. Julian was a passionate lawyer at first, but in later years, he got obsessed with work and the money that got him due to that work. His marriage also failed because he never had time for personal space. He was always engaged into whatever cases he was dealing with throughout the day. He was working for about 18 hours or more in a day, and he barely slept for 3 to 4 hours. This affected his health. He suffered a heart stroke while he was arguing in the trail court of in the trail room, and he fell down. Suddenly, everyone was so shocked looking at him like that. Later on, after when he got his heart attack, he realized few things. He realized that this is not the life he wanted to live. He was passionate at first, but he now realized that he turned greedy. So he sold all his huge, massive, fancy bungalows. He sold all his ships. He sold all his properties and even his favorite car, Ferrari, and then turned into a monk and wandered through the East. Hence the name, the monk who sold his Ferrari. So this is a small justification for the title that has been given by the author. So hence he started the journey to the East. He traveled throughout the East, to many countries for about 3.5 years. At first, he went to the mystical land of India and traveled every tiny part of it, some by foot, some by train, some by road. And he was feeling so good because of the hospitality that was given by the Indians. He loved the way Indians allowed him to every door that he knocked. He described this journey as personal odyssey of the self because he was trying to find out himself. Julian Mantle was off for India for about 3.5 years. Later, when John saw him, he couldn't even recognize Julian because at first, when Julian went to his personal odyssey, though he was in his mid 50s or so, he was looking as if he is 70-year-old with all gray hair, wrinkled face, with everything. He was suffering from obesity, many other health issues like diabetes and everything. He became fat, and he was not at all looking fresh in his face when he went. But when he returned back to Italy after 3.5 years, John, who was his prodigy, who was his student, couldn't even recognize Julian. John at first actually thought of calling the security. He was asking Julian, like, who are you? Why did you come to my office? Why are you not leaving? And when Julian replied, John was awestruck. John was so shocked that he couldn't believe his eyes because Julian after because Julian's transformation was amazing. He was tall, he became lean and muscular, radiating an abundance of vitality and energy. Wrinkles free face, black hair, and he was looking just like a young man who is in his mid 30s, far younger than his actual age. So, this is about the appearance after when he came back home. So, John was taking care of the law firm since Julian left for his odyssey. Eventually, he also turned out like his master. He also got succumbed to the greed of the mankind. He started working for money instead of his passion. He was working for so many long hours and stopped caring for himself. He was eating junk. He stopped caring of himself, of his family, and he started eating junk and turned like an exhausted 60-year-old man with all gray hair and all, even though he was in his mid 40s. When Julian returned Italy, John was the first person he met, so to convey the knowledge he gained in the East, because Julian thought John is in the same position as what he was there. He was there 3 years ago. So Julian thought of giving the same knowledge to John, so to become a wise, so to make him also a wise person just like him, and um so to make him a wise person just like him and make him realize the importance of peace in life. Julian started sharing his knowledge, and the story goes like this. Before he started to share, John was reluctant to admit that Julian turned into a yogi and hence was arguing with him. Then to make him understand. So basically, when Julian came with a red robe wearing instead of a three-piece suit, which he used to wear 3 years ago, John was really shocked. He was awestruck. He, for a moment, thought that Julian was kidding. So John basically asked, there's a humor part in this book also. So John mentions here that what happened to you, Julian? Did you rent that red robe from the clothes shop that is there beside the street? He was asking it like that. So literally, whenever Julian was trying to convey some knowledge, at first John was reluctant to hear that. He was always being like sarcastic, and he was telling no, he was not accepting whatever was said by Julian. So to understand to make him understand this, Julian started to pour tea in the cup. He didn't stop even if the cup was full. He was still pouring. When John asked the reason, he said, see, this cup is your brain. If your brain is always if your brain is already full with the knowledge that you have and the thoughts that you have, there is no space for my knowledge. I can't give you my knowledge. That will all turn into vain if I give my knowledge to you. If your brain is already full with your own thoughts, either you empty your thoughts or let me go. John realized his mistake. He said it like this. He was angry also. So John realized his mistake and apologized for that. He said, yeah, my cup is empty. You can start pouring your knowledge into my brain. So in his initial days in India, Julian met Yogi Krishnan, who was a lawyer in India. He gave, as I mentioned in the introduction part, he gave up law in India and was working as a priest in the temple in a tiny village. After listening to Julian's exhausting story and his hunger for peace in life, he said Julian about the sages of Sivana. Julian was really shocked knowing that, oh, I have a solution to my problem. He was shocked and was overwhelmed by knowing that. He said that, but the only problem was the sages knew all the practices that are needed for eternal joy, but unfortunately, nobody knew where these sages lived. After knowing this, literally nobody knew where these sages lived. When someone tried to reach the sages, due to the extreme conditions in the Himalayas, they either used to die or come back without finding out them. After knowing this, Julian decided to meet the sages. He anyhow, however hard it is, he wanted to meet the sages because he were in the hunger for peace. He wanted to know all the practices that were that were done by them and learn the knowledge for happy living. So he started going. However hard it was, he tried his best. He has climbed many mountains, he has descended many valleys, and finally one day he found where the sages of Sivana lived. It was a very beautiful village. It was a very beautiful village with all crops. It was all made up of roses. The huts were made up of roses. It was looking as if he went into heaven. He was feeling so happy finding it out. He went there and pleaded them to give him the knowledge for attaining eternal joy. He pleaded each and every yogi there. Please give me the knowledge for attaining eternal joy. And they agreed upon, and finally the yogis agreed. They agreed, but there was a condition. That condition was that Julian must learn all the knowledge here and should go to his own country and spread this knowledge to whomever is in need. That is the main reason why Julian went to John and explained this knowledge to him, because John was highly in need of this knowledge. He told him fables and many inspiring short stories and taught him techniques for peacefully leading a joyful life. It is a very important thing in any person's life. This whole book is full of all the mantras and magics that are very useful for everyone on earth. So going forward, um, so Julian Mantle has spent so many days, has spent around 5 to 6 months near the sages of Sivana and learned their culture, the way, the customs, the how to prepare food also, even preparation of food. He learned all of them and all the techniques. He lived with them and now and after 6 7 months he went back to Italy. So here's a small fable that is my favorite part in this book, and the story goes like this. It's a story of a young boy who lived far from his home to study under a great teacher. When he met the wise old man, his first question was, "How long will it take me before I am as wise as you?" The response came swiftly, 5 years. This is a very long time, the boy replies. How about if I work twice as hard? Then instead of saying 2.5, the sage said it will take 10. said the master. 10? That's far too long. How about if I studied all day and well into the night, every night? 15 years, said the sage. Surprisingly, I don't understand. Every time I promise to devote more attention, more energy towards my goal, you tell me that it will take longer. Why? Asked the surprised boy. The answer is simple. With one eye fixed on the destination, there is only one eye left to guide you along the journey. So, first, focus on the journey and not on the destination. That's the moral of the story. And this is one of my favorite fable that is there in the middle of the book. The boundaries of your life are merely creations of the self. Either you control your mind or it will control you. So, moving forward, there is this technique that is the most important technique that is discussed in this book. This technique is called the heart of the rose technique. Yogi Raman has explained this to Julian, and Julian explains this to John. So, this is an excerpt from the book. So there is one technique for mastering the mind which towers above all the rest. It is a favorite of Sages of Sivana. All that you need to perform this exercise is a fresh rose and a silent place. Natural surroundings are best, but a quiet room will also work. Start to stare at the center of the rose, its heart. Yogi Raman told me that told Julian that a rose is a very much like life. You will meet thorns along the way, but if you have faith and believe in your dreams, you will eventually move beyond the thorns into the glory of a flower. Keep staring at the rose. Notice its color, texture, and design. Savor its fragrance and think only about this wonderful object in front of you. At first, others thought other thoughts will start entering your mind, distracting you from the heart of the rose. This is a mark of an untrained mind, but you need not worry. Improvement will come quickly. Simply return your attention to the object of your focus. Soon your mind will grow strong and disciplined. So basically, this technique is very important to improve focus and concentration, because focus and concentration are the most important part of any task. For doing any task, may it be reading or doing some task like dancing or yoga or even cooking food. Every task in this universe needs focus and concentration for it to get completed in a nice way. So this technique in this book basically highlights the importance of focus and concentration in everyone's life. So Sages of Sivana firmly believed that one should think only sattvic thoughts or pure thoughts. Sattvic is the word for Sanskrit word for pure in English. They punish sattvic thoughts are so important in life. This has been said in this book very well. So basically, Sages of Sivana, what they do is whenever they get any impure thoughts into their brain, they literally punish themselves so hard that they get afraid of getting any impure thoughts into their mind. They Sages of Savannah, if they get any impure thought, the next day at morning in 4 a.m. in the chilled cold of Himalayas, they go down into a valley and they stand under a waterfall which has ice cold water flowing down. They stay there until their hands and legs become numb. This is a greatest punishment, I believe, and they give themselves this punishment just because of getting an impure thought. So impure thought is the worst thing. Everyone should think sattvic and should have pure thoughts. That is the concept discussed here by Robin Sharma. So this is a chapter summary of this chapter. So this book has this great feature, that is every chapter has a chapter summary with a quote, the techniques involved, the wisdom expressed, and the symbol, etc. Moving on, positive pressure. Positive pressure is one more important thing that has been discussed in this book. It is very important for everyone to know this. Pressure can inspire you to achieve great ends. How can I create this positive pressure on myself? John asked. There are a whole host of ways to do this. One of the best is the public pledge, to tell everyone you know that you will lose the excess weight or write that novel or whatever your goal might be. Once you make your goal known to the world, there will instantly be pressure on you to work towards it fulfillment, since no one likes to look like a failure, said Julie. So this is a very important thing that has been discussed in this book, because positive pressure is very important. A negative pressure is as dangerous as how positive pressure impacts on us. Positive pressure is for good sake, negative deteriorates humans as hell. So positive pressure, basically, if I go and pledge, I go and say everyone through in the world that yeah, I will do this task, I will get this rank, or I will lose my weight, then definitely I'll get this subconscious thought that, oh, I have mentioned this outside, everyone must be thinking like I'm a failure if I don't do it. So due to this pressure, I start studying or I start working out or something to reach my goal. So this is a very important point that has been said by Yogi Raman to Julian Mantle. So moving on, these are the 5 steps for success according to Sages of Sivana. Sages of Sivana have experimented in the human laboratory. Basically, they have experimented their methods for about 5,000 years on humans itself. Their ancestors gave this knowledge to them, and this makes them the highest beings on the earth according to the book. So these are the 5 steps. The first one is clear vision of your outcome, because obviously if we don't know what we want, we can't work for it. The second one is create positive pressure to keep you inspired. As I said earlier, positive pressure is very much important for for achieving success in life at any stage of our life. Get inspired to work hard, but I'm sorry. Get inspired to work hard by keeping a book called Dream Book and writing all the dreams that you would like to fulfill. So there is this thing that is mentioned in this book. Author has mentioned a very important point, the dream book. So basically, author is asking us to go and buy a small book from the stationery store, and whatever the craving that we have success for is, we have to write that in that book or draw pictures of what we want. Like if I want to become leaner person, then I have to draw how would I become. If I draw it and if I look into it, and we have to look into that dream book every single day without fail. So this will keep us motivated, keep us so much motivated that this will obviously help us to move forward and to get success. And the fourth rule is apply magic rule of 21. This is a very important rule, and this is practiced even now in military, in other trainings, etc. That is, for new behavior to crystallize into a habit, one had to perform the new activity for 21 days in a row. That is, if you want to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, you have to do it in a row without fail for 21 days, keeping alarm and getting up. And for the 22nd day, you don't have to keep the alarm. You will wake up by yourself. This is the magic rule of 21. Everyone has to follow this for in according to get the succeed in their own fields. Then fifth thing is enjoy the process and never regret what has happened in the past. Enjoy the process. This is the most important thing that is said by Sages of Sivana in this book, because enjoying what we are doing is more important. Because if we are not enjoying what we are doing, then we don't really deserve the success that we'll get afterwards. So these are the main 5 steps that are a must for success according to Sages of Sivana. These are very inspiring and very helpful that are given in this book. Moving forward, so this is a chapter summary of chapter 9. So the wisdom given here is the purpose of life is a life of purpose. This is a very renowned quote that is given by Robin Sharma. This is very important one, because the purpose of life is a life of purpose. If we don't have purpose in our life, if we don't have a purpose for our life, there is no meaning of why we are working so hard throughout the day, doing this, doing that, running here and there. There is no meaning. There is no meaning if there is no purpose in our life. Discovering and then realizing your life work brings lasting fulfillment, because at first self-discovery is the most important and integral part of anyone's life. So set clearly defined personal, professional, and spiritual goals, and then have the courage to act on them. And the power of self-examination, the 5-step method for attaining goals. These are the things that I've discussed before also. So moving on, there were few rituals that were discovered, that were written in this book by the author. These rituals are known as the rituals for radiant living. These are very important rituals. And before starting this, before mentioning these rituals and explaining them, I would like to tell you about one method that was discussed in this book, that is Kaizen method. Kaizen method, this is a Japanese word, Kaizen, which means constant and never ending improvement. Constant and never ending improvement. Kaizen is a well-known technique that is followed in Japan and by Sages of Sivana and many other disciplined people involved. So basically, this states that there is no end, there is nothing called perfect thing. So there is one incident that is written in this book where Julian asks John to take push-ups, to do push-ups. So when he starts doing push-ups, John was at first reluctant to do, like he was not sure if he could do or not. But when Julian asked to do, he started doing it. So he started doing it and he could do 23 push-ups in a row. After doing 23 push-ups, John was exhausted and he fell down and he said like, no, I'm done for the day. I can't do more than this. After doing 23 push-ups. But afterwards, when Julian asked to do him 10 more. No, actually, the John said after doing 23 push-ups, John said, this is my maximum capacity. I can't do more than this. But when Julian ordered him to do 10 more push-ups, John did 10 more and he then stopped. When asked, so basically, when Julian if Julian has not asked him to do 10 more push-ups, he could stop himself after those 23 by saying that it was his maximum capacity. But see, no, it isn't his maximum capacity. He could do 10 more push-ups there. And if asked again, maybe you could have done 10 more again. So basically, there is nothing like maximum capacity or perfect being. Every human being must constantly strive for improvement. There is nothing like a perfect thing. And this Kaizen method is very important for never-ending improvement in oneself. So moving on to the ritual of solitude. This is one of the rituals of radiant living, as mentioned by Sages of Sivana. This involves nothing more than ensuring your daily schedule includes a mandatory period of peace. It is a period of time as little as 15 minutes or as much as 50, when you explore the healing power of silence and come to know who you really are. So basically, we have to sit idle, but we have to sit in a peaceful place, in a silent place, and start meditating and just keep silent without having any thoughts in our brain. This is just like a pit stop for the soul. Whenever we go on a long journey, we have pit stops in between to get some petrol or to get some food or something. Just like that, this is a pit stop. This ritual is a pit stop for our day. Solitude and quiet connects you to your creative source and releases the limitless intelligence of the universe. So this can be done for 5 minutes to 15 minutes, wherever, but doing as much of it will give us more peace. Moving on to the next ritual, that is the ritual of physicality. The ritual of physicality is based on the principle that says, as you care for body, so you care for the mind. As you prepare your body, so you prepare your mind. So basically, preparing mind itself isn't enough. The body must be prepared also. So did you know that we have 168 hours in a week, and at least 5 of those hours should be invested in some form of physical activity? That is very important for leading a healthy life. Because these days we are observing, due to the pollution, due to the food that we are eating, due to many adverse factors, many people are suffering heart strokes, are suffering from diabetes, suffering from blood pressure issues and all, since their mid-30s, mid-40s, and even children are also experiencing few of these problems, obesity and all that. The solution for all these is ritual of physicality, doing either workout or yoga or just a walk for 15 to 20 minutes a day will work. This is a very important ritual that is being discussed in this book by our author. So then moving on to the next ritual, that is ritual of life nourishment. This is a very important ritual that is being discussed by Sages of Sivana. A poor diet has a pronounced effect on your life. It drains your mental and physical energy. What did the Sages of Sivana eat to stay so youthful and bright? Asked John. Live foods, came the efficient reply from Julian. What? Yeah, live fruits are the answer. Live foods are the foods that are not dead. Basically, that doesn't mean eating non-veg or killing an animal and not killing an animal and eating it lively. Basically, it means live foods are those which are created through the natural interaction of the sun, air, soil, and water. When what I am talking about here is a vegetarian diet. Fill your plate with fresh vegetables, fruits, grains, and you might just live forever. Live food are so delicious and so nourishing for our body. Process these days, the whatever processed foods that we are eating are eating us from inside. We are eating it inside, and they are eating us from inside. um, they are succumbing us into many health disorders. So this is very important that has been discussed in the book. The next ritual is the ritual of music. When you feel down or weary, play some music. This was said by Yogi Raman in the book. The sages loved their music. It gave them same spiritual boost as the sun did. Music made them laugh. It made them dance and made them sing. So moving on to the next one, ritual of spoken word. The sages had a series of mantras which they would recite morning, noon, and night. That is 3 times a day. What's a mantra? John asked. A mantra is nothing more than a collection of words strung together to create a positive effect. In Sanskrit, man means mind and tra means freeing. So a mantra is a phrase which is designed to free the mind. And believe me, John, mantras accomplish this objective in a very powerful way, said Julian. These are the words that are being extracted from the book. Uh, Ninth chapter of the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So this ritual is very important. Since we are in India, we all know what mantras are. Every day whenever we go to temple also, mantras are always chanting. The priests there chant mantras, and the author is telling us to chant every day, that is 3 times, so that we can attain peace and we can free the mind. So moving on, the ritual of a congruent character. This ritual mainly includes about building your character, doing good deeds, helping others, staying loyal to oneself and others, etc. Come under this ritual. Building a character plays a huge role in establishing a radiant living. This building a character is as important as achieving success, because a success without character makes no sense. Everyone in this world must have a enlightening good character. So this is mentioned in this book. And moving on, the last ritual and the important of all, the ritual of simplicity. This is the important of all. This ritual requires you to live a simple life. One must never live in the thick of thin things. Focus only on your priorities, those activities which are truly meaningful. Your life will be uncluttered, rewarding, and exceptionally peaceful. The author says that simplicity is the way of life. Like it is so very important to live peaceful and to focus on only the things that which we need. It should only be the necessity, and not anything must be done for show off and all. Moving on, this is a summary of this chapter, and wisdom given here is self mastery is the DNA of life mastery, because only after conquering our own self, we can conquer the whole world. Success on the outside begins within. Enlightenment comes through the consistent cultivation of your mind, body, and soul. Moving on. So these are the virtues and symbols that have been given in the book. So master your mind and follow your purpose. Third one is practice Kaizen, that I've said about the self never ending improvement, and live with discipline. That is the fourth point. Fifth is respect your time. Time is the most valuable thing on earth. Then selflessly serve others. This is gratitude. And seventh one is embrace the present and not about the past, and not stop worrying about the past. Moving on, the lessons that we learned from the monk who sold his Ferrari is one of the main lessons is the importance of taking time for oneself and finding balance in life. Because these days we are so busy doing our own chores, our own things, that we forgot thinking about our own self. Like, am I happy doing this? We forgot thinking about it. But this story tells us to take a break and to find yourself and find balance in life. Mantle emphasizes the need to cultivate a daily practice of meditation and mindfulness to quiet the mind and connect with one's inner self. Another key lesson is the power of gratitude and positive thinking. This is very important because positive thinking is the key to success. Mantle encourages readers to focus on the good in their lives and how to approach challenges with positive attitudes. Moving on, applying the monk who sold his Ferrari in daily life. After reading this whole book, now it's our turn. It's our turn to apply these techniques, these rules, and these magical rules to apply on our daily life. The book offers practical advice on how to incorporate its teaching into daily life. For example, it suggests creating a morning ritual. It includes meditation, exercise. Meditation is the heart of Rose technique, and exercise and positive affirmations to start the day off on the right foot. By implementing these practices, readers can cultivate a more balanced and fulfilling life. That is the main important part. That the reason why I like this book, because it is so realistic that we can incorporate whatever said in that book. We can incorporate them into our life, into any reader's life. So moving on to conclusion. In conclusion, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a timeless classic that offers valuable lessons on personal growth and fulfillment. And through its engaging storytelling and practical advice, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari has touched the lives of millions of readers around the world and continues to be a source of inspiration and motivation today. So I now concluding this, thanking everyone. I would like to thank the chairman of AP State Council for Higher Education and member and coordinator of the program, Mr. Bhaskar sir, and our beloved Ramesh Babu sir for giving me such a great and unique opportunity for participating in this program. At the end, I would like to conclude with the words of Sir Foster McLean. Trust yourself. Create the kind of life you will be happy to live with all your life. Make most of yourself, the tiny inner sparks of possibility into the flames of achievement. Hope you enjoyed this book review. Thanking everyone. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you, Dhatri, for presenting a nice book, which is about 190 pages, but still you made it within 1 hour. And given the important aspects of all such things. So on behalf of AP State Council of Higher Education, for reviewing a good book for the benefit of the students, thank you from our end. Thank you.
Thank you.